I wanted to share I wanted to share a story with you guys of uh, some stuff that happens to me being in Japan. All right, so this story goes back to, oh my goodness, quite a long time ago. I believe this was 2014 or 2015. A ways back. Okay. So I used to work at this English school company where you teach kids, and it was an interesting job. This company didn't really do the best as far as taking care of the employees. Throwing teachers into classrooms full of like 30, 40 kindy and preschool kids, ages 2 to 5 years old, is pretty overwhelming and kind of, too many kids for one teacher. But that's not really the story. Before the school even opened, I was fortunate enough to be part of the promotional staff, which basically means I had to stand around different train stations wearing the school jackets and stuff with my uniform. And I'm passing out flyers, and the flyers have like tissues in them. So if you don't know, that's like the most popular thing. Tissues. People pass out tissues everywhere. Doesn't matter what type of business it is, they pass out tissues. And so yeah, I was one of those guys, and it was actually quite fun. You get to kind of just be yourself, and of course, it was a little nerve wracking when you first started because they're a bunch of strangers. But once you start doing it, it's super fun, and it really helps you with not worrying so much about what other people think about you. Gets you more relaxed, and feels like it's like a form of rejection therapy in a way, I guess. So yeah, usually when I pass out these flyers, there's like a plastic pouch, flyers inside, and the tissues inside, and so you pass it, and you're just like, "Hey, come check out a kids' English school," or something like that, and you pass it to them and stuff. My Japanese was like non-existent at that time, so I wasn't really speaking Japanese. I might say like "arigato" or something when they take the flyer, but that was it. And also, you're usually passing out these flyers with other bilingual staff, which would be Japanese staff that can also speak English. And sometimes the school manager was there, but not as often. So one particular spot where we kept passing out these flyers around the station, there was this other guy who was passing out tissues, which if they just pass out the tissue, then there's like a flyer sheet on the other side that you can see, and then you take the tissues or whatever. But there was something interesting about this guy. He didn't have a uniform. He was wearing usually jeans and like a hoodie, and honestly, not really the best kept guy, if I'm being completely honest here. But every time he was passing out these tissues, well, not every time, most of the time, there was always a girl with him. And now usually the girl was pretty cute. Usually it's a pretty cute girl who would also pass out tissues. And so I was like, man, this is kind of weird. Like, why are they together? Like, they don't look like the type of people that would keep the same company, right? And the girl was usually nicely dressed, and the guy wasn't. And so one time, when I was passing out flyers, I do magic, by the way. I started doing magic tricks for people, and that's kind of like an extra bonus of passing out the flyers and tissues and stuff, right? And then I went over to her, and I started doing a magic trick for her, and she started smiling and really happy and stuff. And like right when I was getting done with the magic trick, the guy sees me, and he comes over and like rushes me away from her as like fast as possible. He's like, you can't talk to her. You can't talk to her. And of course, he was talking in Japanese, and then the bilingual teacher who was helping me translated later. But I was so confused, and so then the bilingual teacher told me, he was like, "Yeah, I think they work at like a girls' bar or something, where basically guys go to the bar to drink and talk to pretty girls, right?" And I'm like, "Ah, I see." So the guy was there passing out flyers to attractive females to try to get them to work at the girls' bar. This is also, I believe, the Japanese word for a girl bar is kabakura, I believe, I think. And then the girl was there to then pass out tissues and stuff to guys to get them to eventually go to the bar to, drink with them or talk with them and stuff. And so that's what that was. And it was so funny because every single time that we would went there to pass out flyers to, like, kids and moms and dads and even high school students and stuff, sometimes I would just see the same guy every single time. And now, again, this was like 4 or 5 years ago, right? So I wonder, what if I go back to that same spot 6 years later and see if he is still trying to hustle and promote whatever girls' bar, kabakura, he was going for at the time. I'm actually really curious. I mean, the station we were passing out flyers at is quite far from where I live at the moment. Um, Maybe like an hour or something like that. But like, I'm just so curious.
Curious the chicken monkey boy.
I am a very curious chicken monkey. Um, and what's funny is the school that I used to work at in that area is still there. And if I was teaching, 2 to 5 year olds, that means they are like 10, 11 years old now. So if I go back to the school, and okay, when I say school, I need to preface this. That it's like an after school, right? So kindergarten students, elementary school students, when they go finish with their primary main school, they come to this as like an after school, like after education type thing, right? So first off, I almost forgotten all of the kids' names that I was there with before. But I wonder if I go back, if any of the staff are still there and if any of the kids are still there. And if they would remember me, that would be insane. Like, it's just been so long. And what's funny is, kind of sidetrack from this tissue man story, is I've taught around a few different schools now in my 6 years, and I think it'd be really cool to, like, spend a week, just go back revisiting the different schools and see if any of the kids are still there, right? That would just be so cool. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like kind of like a nostalgia thing, but yeah, it's good memories, right? And when you're teaching at these schools, you develop like a bond with the kids because you're helping them out with not just English, but with like social skills and teaching them about the world and stuff like that. So um, yeah, teaching is definitely a special experience. But the tissue man, I tell you, that was my first experience with it. But once you see it once, you see it everywhere. There's so many different places where you will see guys and girls passing out tissues, and they're for these girls' bars or guys' bars or something like that. Um, and it just boggles my mind. Like, why would someone go to one of these places? I don't understand. Like, I'm sure there might be just like a curiosity factor, or it might be fun just to like just talk with the people, or like whether it's the girls, the attractive girls or the attractive guys or whatever. But like, man, I don't know. Cuz basically it's just super expensive drinks and you're you're basically paying to spend time and talk with them, which is weird because like for me, I can just go to any bar and then just I can talk to anybody, right? Like why would I pay to talk to somebody? Wait a minute, that's therapy. Oh my days. Okay, well there we go. All right, so basically this is just it's a type of therapy, but the girls aren't licensed therapists. It just gives you they lend an ear and a shoulder to cry on, I guess, basically, and listen to you complain about work or family or, practice your flirting skills. I guess I don't know, but wow, yeah. So yeah, I get it. So right, like I pay to see a therapist. I mean, I'm not seeing one right now, but um, if you're looking for someone to talk to, I know the perfect guy, best friend, and someone who has worked his butt off and is so, so good at his job. His name is Jesse, and you should check out his website. I believe it's Lion Counseling, I believe. Lioncounseling.care. Is that it? Here you go. Look at this. Look how handsome this guy is. Is that not somebody you would want to talk to? Maybe I'm just biased because I've known him for so long, but this guy's legit. This guy's legit. So there you go. Lioncounseling.care. All right. That is my Japan story. Japan story is about the tissue man and when I first was passing out flyers. It's so funny that I can just close my eyes right now and just picture the tissue man in his like jacket hoodie thing and his kind of wore down baggy jeans and his like he had some like bleached hair like highlights or whatever, but they're kind of like worn, like he hadn't done it in a while. It's so interesting, man. Oh my days. Okay, well, anyways, that's my story. I'm done with the story.